Getting up here to the podium to talk reminds me of something Winston Churchill said about battle. There's nothing more exhilarating than to be shot at without result. Why am I saying this? Because it seems to be that the negative team has failed to demonstrate how a carefully constructed mixed economy is undesirable. First and foremost, your allegations that we are going to be instilling tyranny in America is kind of ridiculous. The people, as of a democracy, are in control. Even if Congress is given the right to regulate businesses, the people are still voting for who gets to be in Congress, as opposed to Stalin, who kept himself in power by killing everybody else. We do not expressly say that we are socialistic because we're not completely socialistic. A mixed economy is a mix of government control and private enterprise. Private enterprise is not dead. It can continue to fix its own prices, determine where it will go with its innovations. In essence, we are only there to set a specific limit from it getting out of control. And as for it not being able to pass, there is a ton of previous precedences set during the Great Depression. For example, trust busting. When the trusts had started to create a monopoly over any area of private enterprise, the government has stepped in and says, no, you're not allowed to do that. And that was it. The people approved of it. They say that, yes, this is not right for them to raise prices beyond our level of expense. And the government was able to completely destroy a certain type of economy. Is it socialistic and ideal? Yes, it is. But they didn't label it socialism. This is because it's not completely socialistic. A completely socialistic society would be where there was no money and everything was based on just people sharing. And we realize that this is not completely practical for the American society. And our plan is, step one, pass a constitutional amendment in the form of a bill that will, one, make public utilities such as electricity, water, sewage, public domain to be regulated by the local government. Now, we say that by making a public domain, we're buying out the small companies that still are able to control electricity and water prices in places such as Nevada and Washington. By doing so, we're ensured that utilities costs do not rise to increase the CEO's profit margins, but only when needed to be self-sufficient. Two, we give Congress the right to oversee, through a committee, large businesses, the top 3% of the nation, specifically to be able to limit production when it is needful and only in the most critical circumstances, such as during a Great Depression. And we seem to be on the verge of such a depression. Three, provide benefits to small businesses in local settings, for example, in the form of low-interest federal loans, which will promote growth at the local level and probably drop prices for everybody. This is known as a mixed economy, driving down prices for the structure of a nation and improving the small-town businesses that can cater directly to a small region of people, while big businesses are partially under the control of the nation. If this had been done during the Great Depression in a more organized fashion and earlier, we might have not had the stock market crash. The people, again, are still in control of the entire situation. They still vote for who goes to Congress, who sits on the committees, and who makes decisions. If the government did decide to take control, and it did decide to say, we control all the corporations, listen to us, and the people will simply say no and vote them out of office. Democratic process is still there. With this, the companies can still have the independence necessary to grow and innovate, but will have a limit set by the people for the people. A vote for affirmative is a vote for equality and a vote against illegal economic tyranny. So, vote affirmative.